Hi, John from Sun Foundry here. One of the questions we get asked a lot, probably one of the first questions when people are thinking about going solar, is the question, is my house okay for solar panel installation? So the program for solar panels in New Jersey is about 17 years old at this point, and back in the day, a lot of times homes would be disqualified for different reasons. It could be that there was shading. It could be that because didn't face the right way. But advances in technology over the past 7 years or so have really opened up the possibilities for homes to go solar. So it, we want to answer this question and just go over the two key elements which determine the quality of a solar site. And then we're going to use a tool that pretty much everyone uses that you can use to sort of assess for yourself whether or not your house is good for solar panels. So the first thing to go over is, how the sun travels around the Earth. So we're in the northern hemisphere here in the United States. So the sun travels along the southern axis, of course, from east and west. The sun is higher in the summer and lower in the winter. So naturally, during the summer, you're going to produce a lot more power because the days are longer and the angle of the sun on your roof is far better for production. So at the end of the day, it's all going to average out, and we use a number of tools to size a solar system appropriately so that it will cover your needs. Now, the direction of your house is going to have a large impact upon how efficient your system is. In addition to that, the angle of your roof will matter as well, but not as much as the orientation or azimuth, as it were. So I think of this like the gas mileage of your solar system. So if you take a solar system, let's say it produces 100%. If that solar array, if your house where the or ground mounted array in the backyard or a field faces directly south, it will produce between 120 and 125% of what's called its rated output. So if it was going to do 100% rated, it'll do 125%. If it faces due south, around 85%. If it faces due east or due west, and then right in the middle, it will produce its rated output. Now, this assumes that we don't have other considerations like shade. Uh, Luckily, nowadays, we have different tools and we can use satellites because often someone would call you up and say, hey, would you like to come see if my house is good for solar? We say, sure. Are there a bunch of trees around your house? And they would say no, and you drive an hour and a half out, and of course, you'd see a lot of trees. So, as you can see on the left, this is a power curve of the impact of shade on production. Um, Solar requires direct sunlight, and shade can really hinder the production of a solar system. So lastly, the pitch of your roof will impact your production. A sharper pitch is not going to do as well as a more gentle pitch, but a flat pitch is not desirable either. And we use several tools to estimate predictably what the production of a solar system is going to be. So lastly, we just want to go over Google Earth, and we'll go through an example and just kind of look at the considerations for the system as if we were doing it for your house. So this is Google Earth Pro. Um, Google Earth has really made things a lot easier for consumers as well as professionals in the solar industry because it gives us access to satellite data. It can help us see if there's shading and other site conditions, and basically can save us a lot of time. Um, that being said, the imagery on Google Earth is not perfect. It's a lot better than it used to be. So before we ever do anything, we always will come to a customer's house. We'll get up on top of the roof. We will measure the roof and give them a good assessment of what's possible for their home. But for the first look, Google Earth always works. So all you would do is you would go to Google. You'd search for Google Earth Pro. You would download it. You can also download it for your iPhone, and it's a really great program. So you would just go. You would type in your address. And it will do the work for us. A few years ago, they made the 3D imagery, the LiDAR imagery available for everyone, so that's really great. Just going to move to a different, move my tag. So this home, coincidentally, is the house I grew up in. There are 85 solar systems in New Jersey, and this is number 71. So this system was installed back in 2003 or 2004, and it's one of the oldest solar systems in the state. It's still running great, and we were really satisfied with it. So what do we see here? Firstly, we want to take note of the compass. So that's north. Directly down is south, east, and west. So as you can see, this is a south east facing roof, and that's where we ended up putting these panels. You can toggle between 2D and 3D, but as you can see, this was a good house. Now my neighbor, not quite as good. He's got a lot of gables. He doesn't have a lot of flat roofs. Unobstructed roof space. Something could still be done here, but this is not the most desirable house. Not to mention, as you look at it, due south is right here, so all on this side, this west side, as the sun passes this way, you're going to see shade going on top of the roof. Again, it's not a deal breaker. It just impacts the quality of the site. Couple doors down, this neighbor has a good site for solar. He's north south, so you have a nice big window here, a lot of roof space, some vents that might need to be moved. But this is a good site to look at. So I would encourage you to download Google Pro, take a look at your own roof via the satellite, and take a look at some of our other videos as you educate yourself about solar.